Shalom. Once again, Shana Tova. When I was approached about taking this job, my first question was whether the people who actually know what they're doing would be staying on. Luckily for all of us, but especially for me, the answer was yes. We have a great professional staff: Kenyet Neely, Tom Moon, Joni Block, Lynn Guillot, Catherine Etheridge, and the rabbi, of course. But we also depend very much on our talented and dedicated executive board, who do so much for our synagogue that you do see, and even more that you may not. So let me thank them, and honestly, when you see them, you should too. Ron Jacobs, Lisa Miller, Steve Kraut, David Duchin, Zaylene Lovett, Becky Ray, Alex Rubenstein, Aaron Block, Adrienne Delacruz, Fern Gerstein, and my own personal guru, Linda Markowitz. I've been coming here for our high holiday services for 30 plus years, and I could always see it's a big undertaking. But this year, as I got up close and personal, I truly got a sense of what it takes to make the month of Tishrei successful and meaningful here, and how many people we need to thank. So this may start to sound like an Oscar speech, and luckily there's no orchestra to play me off, because it's a pretty long list, but you should know who they are. If I've left somebody out, I apologize. I'll do better next year, but here goes. Cliff Friedman headed up the whole thing. Leslie Stark and Joe Zeffrin dressed the synagogue in white. Jerry Zeffrin organized Kever Avot. Mark Mashbitz and Gail Hill coordinated the many, many honors during services. Rachel Leventon oversaw kids programming. Sonia Levy and Sarah Ross led junior congregation. Neil Bernstein did the Yizkor book. Jeff Markowitz, Mark Kessner, and the Men's Club provided the ushers, and Men's Club, as always, is building the sukkah. Rana Kesselman and Sisterhood provided the flowers. I like flowers, but more importantly, Sisterhood is also doing tonight's Break the Fast. Paul Dyack is our streaming and technology maven. Earl Portnoy keeps us secure. Our gabbis, Cliff Friedman, Gary Kahalnik, and Chuck Smith. Our service leaders, Alex Rubenstein, Austin Clark, Joe Lyken, Megan Failer, Rabbi Zelony, Brittany Landau, Gary Kahalnik. Our Torah and Haftorah readers, Phil Stamen, Jessica Winter, Ira Nevelo, Joe Lyken, Chuck Smith, Elizabeth Stein, Jessica Gould, John Wills, Jerry Zeffrin. Our teachers later today, John Wills and Seth Miller. And our shofar triple threat, David Engelberg, Alan Koenigsberg, and Arnie Fellner. Where would we be without you all? It's not news that a synagogue of this size and scope depends so much on volunteers. Since its founding in 1974, Congregation Beth Torah has been a synagogue largely driven by lay leadership, with an ethos of congregants stepping up, leading the way, and getting things done. In many ways, that has helped Beth Torah become the special place that it is. Working together and depending largely on ourselves helped build the bonds of a unique community. New members can jump in and make a difference right away, not feeling that an old guard is running the show. But that hasn't been without a downside. No matter how dedicated people are to a cause or to a synagogue they love, volunteers burn out. It gets harder to attract people, especially in the midst of their careers, to leadership positions that take up so much time and energy. Beth Torah's leaders recognized this a couple of years ago when we applied for a grant from a foundation to hire a consultant to help us examine our structure and serve our congregation better. We got the grant, we got a great consultant, David Sigelski, and a committee led by David Duchin and Larry Guzik worked to survey the congregation, compare our operations to other organizations, and recommend changes. They are nearly finished, and we will be presenting the recommendations for approval at a special congregational meeting soon. And that will make 5783 a truly momentous year in the history of Beth Torah. It's an old joke. I've told you a million times, don't exaggerate. But this is no exaggeration. This year we can truly change the course of our congregation and help secure its future. The same program that brought us a consultant also includes the opportunity for a $100,000 matching grant to help our synagogue strengthen and grow. We've qualified for that too. It sounds almost too good to be true, but it is. If we raise $100,000 beyond our usual dues and obligations, this generous foundation will match it. Our plan is to channel that generosity, ours and theirs, to create a professional staff position we've never had for at least 2 years. We're calling it the Chief Administrator, who will run Beth Torah's day-to-day operations, supervise the staff, and make sure nothing falls between the cracks. We're confident that this will enable Beth Torah to expand our programming, enhance our impact in the Dallas Jewish community, and increase our membership, which will allow us to sustain the position permanently. It will also allow our board members to focus more on the big picture, guide our present and plan our future, and ensure that people continue to step up to assume important but less overwhelming leadership roles. You'll be hearing more about this matching grant in the coming weeks, and we hope you will help us as much as you're able to reach our ambitious goal. It's a big ask, as they say in the fundraising business, but the answer is even bigger: a stronger, more dynamic, more skillfully run synagogue that will serve you even better. On behalf of the board, we wish you a Shana Tova, a happy and healthy new year, Gamar Chatimat Tova, a good inscription, and Tzom Kal, an easy fast. Please join us in making this a great year for Beth Torah. This is not an exaggeration either. Thanks a million. Shalom.